Hi, Carla.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Quilting Unscripted. Tonight we have a special guest joining us. But right now, I'm Carla Alexiak from Quilting by the River.
And I'm Lynn Wheatley from Lynn Wheatley Designs.
So as I said, we've got a special guest tonight joining us. The cruise travel coordinator, Michelle, is joining us to answer all kinds of questions about our cruise, cruising. Don't forget to pop off any questions that you may have into the comments box. Let us know you're out there. Send us a hello, a hi. As always, we are new on YouTube. We're not on Facebook. So hopefully you've shared all this information with all of your friends. And what do we got? Do we have news? Do we have news before we get Michelle on? Anything we need to talk about?
I don't think so, although it's going to be very, very intriguing tonight. We've got some special details popping out. So I'm really excited about that. No, other than it's a busy road ahead here. Tomorrow headed back out on the road tomorrow for me and for the rest of the week. And so I'm kind of getting ready for that as well.
I am getting ready for family holiday time. We're off to Quebec, to Mont Tremblant with the gang is flying in from England. So my entranceway is filled with all kinds of boxes because that's what grandmas do. They have snacks for the kiddies and boots and all kinds of things. So I'm off for a week. I resurface on the 4th at a class right off the bat when I get home. So my students, I'm sure, are going to be happy to see me because I'll be all post-holiday befuddled at any rate. Busy as always, Lynn, but I'm anxious to get to. So let's bring Michelle in and let's start asking her all kinds of questions. There we go. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey. I'm down where it's warm, so you just enjoy those boots and winter stuff, and you'll enjoy my sunshine. Thanks.
Yeah, we're back into a little bit of winter here, so
yeah,
we've decided Canada doesn't have the 4 seasons. We have more like 8. We've got like a hint of spring. Oh, full-fledged winter. Oh, I want it to be spring. Oh no, you're not getting it season. Yeah, just.
I feel like Florida is just very confused right now because it gets cold and then we have nice weather and then all of a sudden it's cold again. So it's back and forth. You can't figure it out. So maybe one day.
So perfect. So we're getting lots of numbers signed up for the cruise, which is good.
Yep.
So when you're watching, if you're thinking about it, sitting on the fence, we would just want to let you know that we are pretty much half full. Time is running out. So jump off the fence and jump onto the boat. Don't fall in the water. And you can come along and join us.
Absolutely.
So, Michelle, let's start off and you could tell us a little bit about if I didn't cruise, what is this cruising and quilting business all about?
Okay. Well, if you've never been on a cruise, just imagine that you're at a really nice resort and it happens to be on the water. It's a giant floating hotel is really what it is. You're going to have entertainment options every night and day. You're going to have all of your meals. You don't have to, they're not going to give you a bill at the end of those meals. So everything's taken care of. There's a few things you'll pay for, beverages, and, if you want to go shopping, they have shops. They have activities like trivia. They have a pool, a couple of pools usually. They'll have hot tubs. I mean, it's literally just a floating hotel. So you're going to have everything that you would have on land, except for you get to go somewhere. When you go to a hotel, that's it. That's your destination. When you're on a cruise, you're going to hit 3 or 4 or 5 destinations. And so it's really fun. So what we do is we combine that with quilting. And so a lot of people say, well, I don't want to leave home because I can't sew for a week. Some of us are like, have a little, trauma about that. And trust me, I haven't been sewing for about almost a year because my house is for sale. So everything's put away. So it's really like, so what we do is we make it so that when they come on board, now we have quilting as one of the activities. And so we're going to sew on our days at sea. So while we're out sailing and there's not a destination, we're going to be quilting. We will usually sew from about 9 a.m. until about 3:30, and we'll have a break for lunch. And then we have open sewing in the evenings. There might be one or two that we don't, just depending on the itinerary of the port and what time we're in the port. But that gives everybody a chance to sew. And then you can still go out and you can do a show. You can go to the spa. You can go hang out at the pool, whatever you want to do. And then when we're in a report, then the classroom is closed. So you still get your destination experiences. So you can go out and you can check out the local beaches, go bar hopping, find some restaurants, go shopping, buy souvenirs for the grandkids, whatever. And so you really get the full experience of your cruise vacation, including the quilting. So it's a great win-win for everybody.
Now, for us on our particular cruise, we are 11 nights and 5 ports.
6 ports.
6?
Yep.
Okay, so we are quilting when we depart from Florida. So those first 2 days we're at sea. So it's quilting, meet Lynn and I, jump right into the project, start quilting. And then we're at St. Martin's, Antigua.
Yeah, 6 ports in a row.
So the middle part of the cruise is all like happy holiday, get the sun, do your holiday stuff. And then at the tail end, when we're in the ocean, coming back home, well, we'll be in the boat, not in the ocean. You know.
Well, let's hope not. That'd be hard to know.
That's unless Lynn throws me out of the boat.
Yeah.
And then we're quilting again. Now, that last day of quilting, is that a full day or a half day?
It's only a half day. We do have to get all the machines repacked up for customs and ready to go. And so we do a morning quilting for that. And then we do an activity in the afternoon. So kind of a farewell party, so to say. So it's really fun. What we'll do the first night is we have a make and take. And that is for all of the quilters to come. They get to meet the sewing machine dealer that comes on board. And then he does a little project with them, teaches them how to use the machine, shows them some fun stuff that they get to do on it. And then they leave with a project. So that's really fun. And it's an hour and a half or something after dinner. So it's just time for them to let their hair down, relax, get to know the machine. And then the next day when they show up, ready for you guys, they already feel a little more comfortable with the machine. And then like you said, we'll have our days at sea. We will have a welcome reception the second night. And then after that, it's just sewing. One thing I wanted to mention is on our visit to St. Kitts, if they look at the itinerary, we are including, so it's not extra, it's included in your package, is our visit to Carabelle Boutique. St. Kitts it's a beautiful shop, and then they show us what where they work and how they make their boutiques, and they give us a little demonstration, and then everybody gets to stamp their own block. And so and then they dye it for you. So you come home with a block that you can make a pillow out of or add into a quilt or whatever you want to do. And so it's really fun, kind of a behind the scenes tour, but then we also get to see the island. So we'll have that set up for 2 or 3 groups, depending on how many people are going. And then that's for non-quilters as well. And it's just kind of a fun little event. So that day you don't have to plan anything. You just get off the boat and you go. So we'll have that all set up for everybody.
Well, and it's a nice break for Lynn and I to get to do a little bit more mingling with the participants than that whole teacher, instructor, student type of format.
Right. And another thing I wanted to mention is our open sewing in the evenings, that's your time off. And so typically we don't see the educators at night, or they'll stop in for a few minutes and say, hey, anybody have quick questions? I'm off to a show. Because we have 6 ports in a row, that's a long time that they wouldn't have a class with you.
Yeah.
So sometimes maybe like halfway through that, you might come in for one night.
Yeah.
Or say we're going to be here for an hour or something.
Yeah.
Just give some extra instruction.
Yeah.
So we try, we're not going to just leave them high and dry.
Abandon
Yeah.
the chairs.
To talk a little bit about, what the classroom setup's like, because a lot of people, just they don't know what to bring. They're not sure about,
Right. So first of all, to start off with supply list, I'll have you guys give me a supply list. We do that 3 or 4 months before we go, just what they need to bring. We provide, here's the list of what we provide. Machine is provided for each person, no sharing of machines. So you claim your machine the first night and that's yours. We will have shared quilting. Sorry, my brain is not working. We will have shared cutting stations. And so I think I have 8 mats that they would share, but I always ask them to bring a smaller mat just for their station for quick trimming. And as we discussed, the kit will be cut down to manageable sizes. So we're not cutting bulk fabric. Right. And then I also have ironing stations that are set up. And one thing to know is that you cannot bring an iron on board. They will confiscate it and they will give it back to you at the end, but they will not let you bring that on board. That is a fire hazard, obviously. And when you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean, you don't want to catch on fire. So we have special permission to bring irons. So we are limited to how many we can bring because of the pole they have, but we do bring those and those are shared. And so the supplies are generally just basic supplies. And then if you have anything special that you would want them to bring, or if you have some type of a kit you want to put together that they could purchase from you, however you want to do that. Right. And so, so we try to make it really easy so they don't have to bring too much. And they go home with a lot more than they come with. I'll just say that.
Yeah, so save some space.
Yes, definitely pack light.
Pack another carry bag.
Well, we've had lots of people who buy suitcases out somewhere.
Yes.
So.
Throw your clothes overboard just before port.
Hey, you don't need those anymore. You can buy new stuff.
No. I think on our part, Lynn and I have had a couple of questions about what they want to bring. So our to-do list or the to bring list is in the works and we're nailing that down already. One of the things that we do have on our list with regards to the irons is one of the little roly pressers. So that everybody has a chance to not just finger press, but you can roly press and keep on going if the iron's occupied and you don't have to stand there.
Right. And the good thing with that also is because we will have so many people and limited irons, if they roll press like 5 and then they go press them and then they come back and do some more and then roll. So it just breaks it up. So there's not a line waiting at the irons. So that's good too.
Lines are good things. That's how you meet your lifelong friends.
There you go. You never know.
In a line, waiting for the iron.
And that is one thing that I like to bring up because I have had several people that are repeat guests of mine, and they have come with somebody, and then for some reason that person couldn't come, but they met somebody else on another cruise, and that's the person that they now room with. And so it's fun to see how many people have met friends and they come back with those people another time. So it's really fun. Now, one thing to think about is there are going to be people out there who don't have someone to come with, whether it's a quilter or a non-quilter. Maybe they don't have a friend that's available. So we do have people sometimes looking for roommates. So don't not sign up just because you don't have somebody to go with. If you need a roommate, let us know. We can see if we can find somebody. But consider that you might have friends that want to go that aren't quilters, that just want to go and they're off doing whatever they want, gallivanting around the ship. And then they can come have dinner with the group. They can come to our cocktail party. They can still interact with us, but they don't have to be in the class. So there's many options. So you're not traveling alone. And then there's some people who just prefer to travel alone, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
You're really not traveling alone because you're going to be in a group of, 40 people. So,
right. So one of the things that's a little bit special with this situation is Carla and I are two instructors in this classroom versus just one. And we feel that we're quite a good team to bring kind of two slants into that classroom. Carla coming from Ontario and me from the States. We came from two different angles into the quilting world and have a lot of things to offer those students. And I really think that the experience for the quilter on the cruise ship while they're in that studio working is so important that we feel that contact of, the 20-to-1 ratio is a good one. So,
which is one of the reasons when, you and I talked early on and, we had talked about classroom numbers and you had said 30 to 40. In my mind, I went, no, I'm quite capable of handling 20, 25. You start hitting 30. It's not fair to the quilter because she's not getting that one-on-one. And so that's where Lynn was nice enough to jump in and join in. So you get two
for the price of one.
Two for the price of one.
Good cop, bad cop.
And the nice thing that I have found, because I've been doing this now for, I don't even know how many years, 15 years, something like that, is there are other people in the room that everybody is so willing to help each other. Yeah. And so if you are busy with another guest, a lot of times someone will say, I don't know what the next step is. And someone will always come over and go, oh, here's what you do. Yeah. And so it's really helpful. It's almost like you have 40 helpers.
Right.
Yeah. So it's nice. We've had people that was the first time they've ever touched a machine, all the way up to, I've been doing this for, 50 years. So it's really nice to have a nice blend of all different levels. And so nobody feels like they're out there just floundering around. So it's really nice.
Yeah. So the kit, she talked a little bit about the kit and the pre-cut fabric. So this is really true, is that, you're going to get a kit, and in that kit is going to be everything pre-cut down to a very reasonable size. Some of those pieces you are just going to literally put right sides together and stitch them and go. Other things, we're going to do some special trimming and stitching to create some really nice features in this quilt. So it really, you really will be, stitching right away, and with a minimal amount of a sewing kit for you to bring, your favorite snips and pins and, a small rotary cutter.
All the basics, all the necessities,
and don't forget your snack bowl.
Oh, I was going to say, don't forget your tweezies for the cheesies. Remember, Michelle. Okay, the quilters are counting on you to be able to have either the ship provide or we can bring on a case of cheesies, because I
have to find them, because this is a Canadian thing, right?
No, this is a US thing.
I've never heard of cheesies.
Well, she calls them cheesies. They're Cheetos.
Oh, Cheetos. Okay, I got you then.
Yeah, Chester.
We're good.
Oh, you guys.
Anyway.
I don't know.
So if there's any special required tools for you to be successful in the classroom, they will be provided for you in your kit.
Yes.
And thread is already provided. So no bringing thread. That's already taken care of. Our machine knows all of that. So, we make it really easy for them.
Yeah. You just got to bring that your special little sewing kit and your sunscreen and your smile and your sunglasses.
Yep.
Good sense of humor. I'm on board. We're good.
You can have sun hat day.
With regards to that pre-cut kit, I know when I do mine, it's, if the pattern, your project calls for, 125 3-inch squares, you open that bag and you're getting 125 plus a few more for boo-boos. But they're cut So,
There you go.
things like that, you just open and sew. Some of them, we might be taking that square and, cutting a corner off or something, but
Yeah. But yeah, it's minimal cutting. There'll be a little bit of trimming, but in all, the cutting the majority of the cutting will be done
by yours truly.
Cutting the masters at this.
That's
So,
why you guys get the night off, so you can go relax because you did all your work before you get there.
Yeah. 40 kits worth, here we come. Go on.
Yeah. So we were, we've been really, we went back and forth about this design for this cruise, and we were going to do a mystery, and I don't know. I just don't think we can hang on doing a mystery now that we've kind of finalized the design. So certainly we're going to the Caribbean. So you would think that this would be sort of a Caribbean theme.
Before you do the big reveal, let's go backwards and do some nitty gritty. We missed a couple of things.
Yes.
Let's talk about pricing. When's the money? When's the money coming in? Non-quilter discounts and travel insurance.
Okay.
What's included when I pay my
Okay. So because we're on Celebrity, this is a nice little, I get to add some extra stuff on. So normally when you book a cruise, there's all those little extras. We've included all of that. So your taxes are already paid in this package. Your onboard gratuities are included. All of the quilting, as we talked about, the kit, you guys being there, all of that. Our welcome aboard reception and our farewell reception are all included. So don't bring any cash. I mean, if you want to pay me, you can, but you don't have to. Everything's included. And then, like I talked about, the excursion in St. Kitts is included. The machines are all provided. So really, we try to make it so we're not nickel and diming you to death. The price we show is the price. Now, speaking of price, our pricing is only good for so long. And so once rooms are starting to sell out on the ship, then they can raise the pricing. So the sooner you book, the better. The pricing that is listed on our website may or may not be completely accurate. I always try and get you the best price in the best location on the ship for your room. So you can use that pricing. It should be I think it's pretty close to that right now still. As far as when payments are due, so right now we've only collected the initial deposit, which is $500 per person. The second deposit of $500 is due in the middle of April. So if you're booking now, you can choose to pay the $500 now, and then in a couple weeks you would pay the next $500. Some people just pay the $1,000 and be done. And then our final payment isn't due until the middle of December. So there's a lot of time between now and then. A lot of people want to set up payment plans, which is totally fine. And all we do is you pay your initial deposit, and then we divide the balance up over the number of months that are left. And so it can make it a little more reasonable instead of getting a big, huge payment at the end. And that makes it so sometimes you don't even notice that you're paying for your cruise. You're just getting a credit card charge every month, and before you know it, it's paid off. Travel insurance is quoted after your first deposit. So when that happens, let me explain travel insurance a little bit. I can send you a quote. I'm not an insurance salesperson. So I send you a quote. You can look it over. There's 3 policy options to choose from. By the way, I'm sorry, but this is only for US. I'm not able to sell it in Canada, but I always recommend that they go find a travel insurance company nearby. But the insurance that for the US is if you purchase it within the first 21 days after your first deposit, then it also includes pre-existing conditions. So generally, I recommend that they purchase it within 21 days, but they can buy it anytime up to 3 days before sailing.
So travel insurance, in what you're talking about, is the out-of-country health insurance for us Canadians.
Well, and whatever is equivalent there. So in the US, what I sell is through Chubb. That's what I sell, but there's lots of companies. And that includes your medical, but also includes cancellation for a medical reason. So, the day before the cruise, you fall down and you break a hip or something like that, then you have to cancel. Then that would be a covered reason. If it's, I woke up and said, not feeling a cruise today. Sorry, that's not covered. It's got to be a reason that you can prove why you can't go. And so it's that. It's also silly things like they lost one of my suitcases. And
Right.
so they would help, find that or give you a reimbursement for stuff. Having a flight delay and have an issue with that and having them help you find another flight, things like that. So there's a lot of things to do with that travel insurance, but that is sent out to you the day that you make your first deposit. And then you can decide, what you want to do with that. I don't force it on anyone. I just recommend it. I've seen some things out there that you want to have it. You never know what's going to happen. So it's something you hope you never have to use. But if you do and you don't have it, then you're really wishing you had it. So that's my little spiel on that.
It's insurance. I mean, it's the basic.
It's like car insurance. You don't ever want to use it. You hate paying it every month, but if you don't have it, then you really wish you had it when you need it. So,
Right.
Yeah. So what other questions did you have? I don't know if I hit all of those.
Excursions are usually available how far ahead?
Usually about a year, maybe about
So
year
by
and a few
summer,
months.
maybe we'll see them.
Yeah. So I will send out my recommendations for each port. And then if you have something specific that you want that isn't listed there, you can let me know. For instance, Alaska, I'll send out some excursions and then I might have someone say, well, we really want to go salmon fishing. Okay, let me go find something specifically for that. So I try and send out things that are kind of the more popular ones that either I've done or my other clients have done and they recommend them. And so then I pass those along to everybody. The good thing about excursions, and let me clarify this, because the cruise line will scare you and say, if you don't book your excursions through us, we'll leave you. Okay. The excursion companies have a guarantee that they will get you back to the cruise ship on time, or they will get you to the next port. So I've never, ever missed a ship because of an excursion. So don't let that scare you. The cruise line excursions are more expensive because they're taking a cut. And so, but they're using the same vendors. So the nice thing is the company that I recommend usually has, I think it's 30 people is their maximum amount of people on a tour. And I don't think I've ever been on a tour that actually had 30 people. One time there was 2 people. So it was like a private tour, but we didn't pay for a private tour. So you just never know. But I'm there to help you and guide you through all of that. So.
As we're talking, I just got a message in from one of our cruisers here in Ontario. Her name is Monique. She'll be joining us on the cruise. And Monique just let me know that she does sell travel insurance in Ontario. So if you're looking for some insurance and want to hook up with Monique, just send me email, message, Facebook message, whatever. Leave a comment. And I can hook the two of you guys up and you can chat about.
That's great.
Yeah. So we've got the northern end covered up here.
Yes, that's good. That's good. And if anybody lives anywhere else in Canada, let me know, because I think in Canada it's per province. Is that correct? I think each one has their own rules on that. Yeah. And I do have agents that in Canada that I know, so I can always hook them up with somebody that lives in Canada. So that's good to know.
Perfect.
One thing we didn't clarify was the ship that we're actually on is the Celebrity Ascent, which is one of their newest ships.
Yes.
So
guess
really
what?
Carla's excited.
I am. Okay, so I am one of the TV show on Slice where they all do those big yacht things. Come on, people.
Like Below Deck.
Below Deck. Okay.
Below Deck.
So one of the Below Deck, I think it's Mediterranean or something. Anyway, we have a Captain Sandy.
Yes.
Okay. So I was snooping around on the celebrity site, and our cruise ship has a godmother. Yeah. Captain. And it's Captain Sandy.
Captain Sandy. Yes, it is. Sorry, she probably won't be on board. But we'll have a picture of her.
Maybe she'd be quilting.
We'll go take a picture with her and then say we were on board with Captain Sandy on the picture. No, that's fun though. She's one of my favorites on that show. So,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So we also haven't really talked much about the date. So the date,
I guess that is important.
Yeah, so it's April of next year. So it's still, 13 months away. So it's April 6th through the 17th. And we're out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So
just so everybody knows, you can come on the first night and celebrate my anniversary with me.
Ooh.
Somehow we always end up cruising on our anniversary. I don't know how, but
that sounds like it's better than being at home cooking them pork chops.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Let somebody else do the work.
For those of us that are flying in from international flights, I just want to point out that I will be in early because the teacher can't miss the boat for flight delays. That would be horrible. Yeah. So I haven't decided if I'm actually going to. I'll have to feel it out and see what the transport is like. If I'm feeling like the day before is fine. But yeah, nothing later than the day before. So if we cruise out on a Friday, I will be there we lost her.
We lost Michelle. She'll be back in a minute.
I will be there on Thursday night. So
yeah. So that's, as we get closer, and also we talk about flights. Michelle can help with flights, or a lot of us will do our flights on our own.
I'm back. Sorry, I don't know what happened. It just
that's all right. It's one of those things. It needed to take a break. It just needed a break.
I was going to say about that. I always recommend coming at least a day early.
Yeah.
Yes, it's April, but it is still winter in some places. And as we have seen lately, flight delays are common and cancellations are common. So
yeah.
The other thing is, keep an eye on your weather. I've had people travel in January, and when they saw that there may be a storm coming into their area, they changed their flight to a couple days earlier or a day earlier, just to be safe. I have had people, sadly, who said, it's only an hour flight for me. I'm just going to come in that day. And then they were stuck somewhere. And so missed the ship, tried to get to the next port, couldn't get there. So, and at that point, the insurance isn't going to cover that because that was kind of your responsibility to get there early.
Mm-hmm.
So I always recommend that you come at least a day or two early.
Now, do you recommend a hotel? Like, are we all?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't put the whole group in one hotel because everybody has different, I guess, standards. I don't know how to put it.
They have their favorite hotels. People who travel have their favorite.
So I will send out a list of 3 or 4 hotels to choose from these are the prices that I get, and then they can let me know what they want and I'll book them for them. So, and the same with transportation. Some hotels will have transportation to the ship. Some will be free, some will charge. And then sometimes it's just cheaper just to get a taxi, put 3 or 4 of you in there and head over, or an Uber. So there's a lot of options with that. And I send out all of that information to try to help with everything I can. And then here's what I offer. And then you can choose how you want to do that. So
are the hotels closer to the ship or closer to the airport?
I will generally because Fort Lauderdale Airport is only about maybe a 10-minute drive from the port. But getting into the port, that is one of the ports where you have to go through security just to get into the port. And then there's several terminals. So there's really no hotels close enough to walk or anything like that. So I will generally give you some options near the airport, and then maybe a couple that are maybe in Fort Lauderdale on the beach or something. And those would require you probably take a taxi there and back because they won't have a shuttle. But I give you the options.
All
Good
right.
to know. Huh. What else we got, Lynn? I think that's
Well, this design of the quilt is exclusively for this event.
Yeah.
And we are excited about it. Back and forth, finally came up with a name. To be honest, when you design a quilt, I think coming up with the name for the quilt is really the hardest thing to do.
yeah.
Because you can see the creative side of it. You can be inspired by a bunch of different things, but to actually come up with the name. So the name is pretty new. It's about 24 hours old. So we were under the gun to try and come up with a name for the design, but we're happy with it. I think it's now sunk in, and it's pretty nice. So Carla and I both are Studio 180 certified instructors, and we are really, really sort of in love with that Tucker trimmer. So I will tell you that the Tucker trimmer is going to be involved in this cruise, and we're really happy about that. We're also going to bring another specialty tool in. We're not going to tell you what it is right now, but there will be another specialty tool, and that will be included in that kit we're giving. So everything that is special about this will be provided to you. So Caribbean theme.
Boy, we racked our brains over this one. Here's the funny thing, people. Lynn and I are total opposites when it comes to design. Total opposites. Lynn is very much make 3 of these blocks and 4 of those blocks, and we'll just and they go like. And I'm for weeks I'm toiling on this end because I'm pick 1 block, pick 2 blocks, very symmetrical. It's got yeah. Guess who won?
All right, so here we go. So
drum roll. I'm waiting.
I know.
Is there a gremlin in the
technical difficulties?
Yes.
It's our middle name. Lynn and Carla, tech problems.
Do I need to call in my teenager?
Yeah, hang on, hold please.
Freeze.
We've done this a couple of times.
Oh my goodness. Is that just the bee's knees?
That's just because you wanted to keep them in suspense longer.
You know what? I wonder if it's because we've got 3 people now.
Do you want me to try?
Can you
want me to try?
Can you just change it so that
there's only 2 of us?
You can turn me off and see if you can. It'll come up with that.
Okay, you try now. I'm really glad that our viewers are very patient, and this is why we called it unscripted, because
oh my goodness,
it doesn't like it.
No, why is that?
I don't know.
This is just horrible.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Ready?
Yeah, you try it.
Da, 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 da.
I wonder if I got to go out and do it. I'm going to go to the backstage. You got it. Now what?
I got it. I got it. So there it is. What did we call it?
The name is Sun-Kissed Waves.
That's right. I remember now. Yeah. So can I do this? I can. Okay, hold it. It disappears. All these little blub blub blubs along the 4 diagonal edges are waves. And then we've got the 4 sunshines because it's lots of sunshine down there. Now, something that this picture doesn't do very well is in the middle are fishes. And we get to make fishes, 3 different kinds. Lynn has never been more excited over fish she'd like call me and go, "Oh my God, I made another fish." And I'm thinking, I just want star blocks. You really should have been here during the conversations. And then of course, and I know the Caribbean doesn't grow pineapples. It grows coconuts. I've been there. But the pineapple still tastes so good. And when I think pineapple, I think
Tropics.
tropics, hot, blue water. Yeah. We just had a question, wants to know the size.
69 by 69.
So just
Yeah, so a good lap size. Yeah, so you're going to do a little bit of some of those fun techniques with that Tucker trimmer, and then we're gonna put a little pizzazz in there.
Yep.
So
Totally doable. For those of you who have hung out with me for a while, knows that I wouldn't throw anything. Let's see, can we do this? Yeah, we can. There you are. I wouldn't do this and make it really, really difficult. So,
right.
We got lots of open space in there. So the outer part of it, just bing, bang, boom. Your pineapple is super easy. Your sunshine is super easy. And then, we got a little bit of fun stuff in the middle. So totally doable. So Michelle, that means that we'll have to send you a picture and you can get that up on the website.
Yes. Yep, that will be up. So send it over and I can have it up within the day. So
yeah, so there it is.
All that. Yeah, that'd be great. And then the only other thing I can tell people is book as soon as you can. The ships do fill up. Every ship is sailing full lately. So remember, we had a 2.5, 3 year break with no cruising.
Right.
So people are catching up. Yeah. And so they sell up quickly. So I would say jump off the fence, like you said, jump on board. You want to get the best room available. You want to get your best pricing. So book as soon as you can. And then if you have any specific areas in the ship that you want to be, or specific room numbers, because I've had people do that, then put that on your registration and I will do my best to match what I can for you. So
wonderful.
Okay. Sounds great.
If anybody has any questions, have them contact me.
The website is in the comments section. Okay. We posted that up, so it's up there. If you're totally stuck, anybody watching probably knows Lynn or I. Just give us a shout and we can direct your questions and concerns to those that can answer it. So we'll get you in touch with Michelle. I don't think I have anything else.
I think we pretty much covered it. But if we didn't, remember, you can drop a comment in that box and we'll follow up with that comment. Yes. And this has been wonderful. I'm so excited about the cruise.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody there and just making it really fun. I will say, I didn't really explain this at the beginning, but there's a lot of quilting. Well, there's not really a lot of quilting cruises out there anymore. They're kind of dwindling. I make mine very smaller. Trust me, you thought 40 was a lot. There's some out there that do 120 people, and they share machines, and they have several teachers, and they leave with a block. And this, you're going to leave with a cruise or a quilt project, hopefully done. Some people finish it. You're going to leave with lots of new friends and hopefully just a really fun experience. So I really look forward to seeing everybody on board.
Well, we can't wait. Lynn and I are going to try to get a dress. We're going to dress the same. I'm going to make her buy the same dress as me. Her team.
Oh, yep. Guaranteed to be a fun time.
Oh, goodness.
Cheesies.
Yeah. Cheesies.
Cheesies. I got it. Cheesies.
Cheesies. Canadian cheesies. They're smaller than the American Cheetos. Right. What can I say? Yeah. On a different note, if you're watching this video, now that we're on YouTube, remember to hit that thumbs up like button and subscribe so that you know how to find us easy. And if you miss our live, you can watch the recorded version at your pleasure anytime you want. In the meantime, thank you for being taking part of this episode. Hope we've been able to answer your questions. Always creating unscriptedly with Lynn and I, just casual chatting and keeping it going. So keep on quilting out there, guys. And thank you. Thank you, Michelle. It's been a pleasure. We'll be talking soon, I'm sure.
Chatting with us.
Yeah. See everybody later. See you on board.
Yeah.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye, Carla.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.